Hey everyone, welcome to another Good e-Reader review video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we're proud to bring you North American exclusive, Pocketbook Ultra. It's the latest and greatest from Pocketbook, one of the new few e-readers that they've released this year, like the InkPad and the Pocketbook Aqua. What are the main selling points behind this? Well, it's using an e-ink Carta display, so it's the same e-paper that you'd find on the upcoming Kobo or H2O and the Amazon Kindle Paperwhite 2. It also has a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera, which is an e-reader first. We've snapped a few photos, and we'll show you how those look when we get into the review. Peter, give us the 360.
You have a screen in the middle with kind of a double bezel. You have this black layer and then the colored layer on the outside. You have 4 buttons on the bottom. Very difficult to make out because it's kind of hard to see that there's these little nubs, 2 of which are circles, 2 of which are arrows up and down. You also have buttons on the side. These start out as page turn buttons, but can be reassigned to do various different things.
Yeah, almost all the buttons on the e-reader could be key mapped, which is very cool.
You have a 5 megapixel camera at the back, and you also have a flash, which is most definitely an e-reader first. On the bottom, you have a accessory loop for phone straps and those little, Mario keychain things you want to put on there. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which means that this does have audio capabilities. We have a power button and a latch that exposes a micro SD and a micro USB. This is not waterproof. There's no sealant on this. It is a e-reader exposed to the elements.
So this is the main interface. It shows the books that you have opened up or loaded on most recently. You notice that the book cover is very high resolution.
It also cascades, which is really nice.
Yeah, and it says, today we've added 3 new books. We've also added 2 new books on the same date. I guess it's just like at different times. So you have 3 shortcuts here on the main screen: your library, the Pocketbook store, and access the camera. If you click on this little thing at the bottom, you actually see more apps: browser, calculator, chess, dictionaries. 2 things that we haven't really seen before: Dropbox for Pocketbook, Pocketbook Sync, and Send a Pocketbook. Pocketbook Sync and Send a Pocketbook is just a way that you can send documents and access documents through the Send a Pocketbook service. It's basically the same as Send a Kindle. It also has Dropbox support, so you can easily upload ebooks, PDFs, documents to your Dropbox account, and then you access it through here, and then you could actually create folders and access all of your content. If you click on this option at the top, you can actually sync new content, access the task manager, settings. So here's all the Dropbox settings right here. You could load them on the internal memory or an SD card. This is Read Rate, sort of their book social networking site. You could do firmware updates pretty easily, maintenance, languages. You can personalize it with a custom boot logo, power off logo.
This is the key mapping, which we were referring to earlier.
Yeah, so this is cool because when you're reading EPUB, FB2, or other documents, you can actually change the way that these keys work. And this is just for reading an ebook, but you could also set them up as like global permissions. So you could have different keys for like the menu system, and then when you're reading a book, maybe you don't want those page turn buttons on the back, but maybe you want these 2 buttons to be page turn buttons. You can customize that.
It's also, you saw boot logo and power off logo, so you can customize your own pictures.
Yeah, using the camera that's on here. All right, so when you want to check out your library, there's a lot of different options here: series, bookshelves, genres. Let's just click on all books.
And this is all preloaded, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we've loaded in only 3 books, but I guess these are all coming with like, preloaded books in many different languages, just so out of the box you can get reading right away. we'll fire an ebook up for a second. Just want to continue to show you the main selling points here. Pocketbook does have a store called Bookland. A few years ago, it was tremendously underdeveloped. You could only find free, royalty-free, copyright-free books, the same sort of content you find on Project Gutenberg. But now they have titles by like Dan Brown. You can check out all their bestsellers here. Life of Pi. Some of the books are pretty expensive.
Wow, I was gonna say,
Simon's Cat 3, $21
US.
But you can see most of their stuff's like just like $8, $4.
Look at those, $8.13, $4.87.
I guess it's because they probably do those they
Conversions,
do euros,
yeah.
and these are just
True.
Yeah. Camera is cool. I want to show you kind of a few of the pictures that we took earlier.
We can go to the gallery. This is kind of your app list, so to speak. And if you scroll down, you'll see that we have some studio shots, but the ones outside are much nicer, so we'll show those. If it loads. So you can see that Michael is upside down, but the quality of the picture is quite nice. We also have some pictures of some flowers we took. It's very hard to take a picture with this because you kind of have to let it load for a while. But if you want a full camera tutorial, you can actually watch our separate video on our YouTube channel. We did a full camera test.
Yeah. I guess next, Peter, let's take a look at an ebook. That's what this e-reader is all about.
It is an ebook reader after all. So this is the e-reading experience.
Well, first of all, I mean, it looks pretty good.
It looks fine, yeah.
The text super crisp.
It does. Looks rather nice.
Yeah.
So we have highlight capabilities, the usual things here. Note taking. I like the keyboard. It's QWERTY. I don't like how it's not staggered like an actual keyboard is. But
Yeah, it's not slanted.
Yeah.
The letters, they're just stacked on top of each other.
exactly. You have dictionary lookup, share with Google. You also have this. This is very interesting. It's a send. It's a send to. And once you press OK, you can actually sign into Facebook, Twitter, that one, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Bookland email. So if you know any of those obscure European ones, then this is more than look at all the choices you get here for sending.
Yeah, so this is a way that you could inform your friends what you're reading about.
Right.
Do specific highlights, send them to your friends so you could show off your book prowess.
Yes, precisely. So if you long press, you had those options. If you tap in the middle, you're set with another batch of options here. So you have settings. This will be all your font changes and everything.
Now there's about like 19 preloaded fonts.
Right. So you have the amount of size, which is the point. Changes live. Takes a little bit of time, but it does change. You have margins, line spacing.
You have to wait for it to catch up.
You sure do. It'll do my line spacing next, right?
I think
it
already.
did it. That was the margin. I don't know if it registered. Let's see the font selection. So you have all these different ones. So there's no inertia involved in this device. If you let go, it just kind of stops. But that is quite a bit of fonts.
Yeah.
You have rotate for rotation because it doesn't have an onboard gyroscope. Voice.
So this is sort of like text-to-speech.
Right.
But you have to have headphones plugged into it.
So you have volume controls for it, pause, and of course different languages or different ways that people will speak to you. Matthew, Hans, and Kendra for American. So let's close that. There's no speakers on this, unfortunately, so...
Click on dictionaries.
Sure.
So obviously, this is an e-reader that's built towards a lot of different markets. So we're on the English dictionary now, but you can download a bunch of others.
Right. So a lot of cool features on this device so far for the e-reading experience.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, a lot of people aren't going to be mucking around with like a lot of these settings and stuff, but it comes down to how fast are the page turns. You really don't see like a lot of e-ink refreshes, which is cool.
No, the only thing that really fades away is the text itself.
Yeah, so you could take advantage of the manual page turn buttons on the bottom if you'd like a more of that tectonic feel, but if you're more enamored with touchscreen, you can do it. So I'm a fan of that, but I find that when we were in the sub-menus, things started really lag.
Right.
So when you start writing notes and accessing a keyboard, accessing a dictionary, know that sometimes a lot of that functionality will time out. So if you find an ebook becomes unresponsive, you could hit the Task Manager app and close manually all of the things that you're not using anymore. So this will hopefully make the e-reader a little bit more robust. Let's look at a PDF. Now, before we decided on this science PDF, we opened up the 100 meg Dungeons Monsters manual, and it got to page 1, and then about 3 minutes passed, changed it to page 2, and nothing happened.
Right.
So there has to be some sort of problem with the PDF rendering engine. I mean,
you can see right here,
this is terrible.
It's lagging. We don't have really any sort of double tap or pinch and zoom capabilities, so what you have to do is click mode. This offers a little bit of flexibility. You can fit whole page, fit to width, column it into 2 splits, reflow. We'll look at this because this is always a very popular choice.
Yeah, not too many e-readers have true reflow.
Right.
We've only really seen less than 5 ever.
Right. So it kind of stains here for a sec, and then it renders itself. And you see that it justifies everything to the left, and then displays the image. And this is more of an ebook feel now. So everything's kind of pushed over to one side. The headers are very well differentiated from the bodies of text. That was a very long page turn. Zooming is a very tedious thing to do here. So we'll fit to width, and then we'll do some zooms. It goes up point by point. So there's no way to really go any faster than that.
There's no slider bar or anything like that.
And then once you press OK, once again it stains, and it's thinking of how to do what you want it to do. So there it is, a little bit zoomed in, and there's no way to tell where you are on the page. There's no way to navigate. There's no mini-map. It's a very poor PDF experience.
Yeah, the PDF aspect of this is probably the worst. So if you are buying this 6-inch e-reader with the intention of having a lot of control over your PDF experience, I'd probably stick with more an e-reader that has a capacitive touchscreen like the Kobo Aura that does allow you to pinch and zoom, or like the Kindle Paperwhite
exactly.
With it has deadly PDF support. I mean, Kobo and Amazon are probably the leaders in PDF support now that Sony's abandoned the market.
Right.
So avoid this if you're into PDFs, because you're going to be let down.
A good positive, though, it does have the highlight capabilities for altering a PDF while you're in the PDF, but what good does that get you when you can't use it properly? I mean, sure, I've highlighted that, but I can't ever find where that is and where all my notes are, and now I don't know what page I'm on. I would say avoid this for a PDF reader.
All right, so it makes a pretty good ebook reader.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to watch how the camera performs, we have that in another video.
So cool.
But the Pocketbook Store, kind of lacking. You don't really have a ton of flexibility and control. Klondike, calculator, chess. I mean, day-to-day, people aren't going to be using that sort of thing.
It is cool how it has onboard sound, though. So you can plug a pair of speakers here, or external speakers via the USB, the headphone jack, and play your music.
You're totally right. I mean, a lot of e-readers have ditched onboard audio in a bid to offer their e-readers as cheap as possible.
Right.
And so it's kind of cool to see Pocketbook still maintain those 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So the camera, Carta, the onboard audio, those are cool.
Absolutely.
As well as the Dropbox capabilities, being able to tap into social networks is kind of interesting.
A little bit of handwriting apps. So overall, it's not too bad of an e-reader, but the e-reading experience, the actual point of this device, could be a little bit better.
I totally agree. So this has been a first look / review of the Pocketbook Ultra. If you want to see us show you any specific elements, drop a comment below. And for all other Pocketbook Ultra videos, youtube.com/GoodEreader. And for Good eReader, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.
We really want to thank all of our users here at youtube.com/goodyreader who watch our content each and every day. We really appreciate it. A lot of familiar names pop up every day, especially in the comments section, and that's what we love, building a community to really talk about everything e-reader, tablets, digital publishing related. We have a lot of cool things going on right now. If you check up top over there, right about there, you're going to see all of the Kobo H2O stuff, and I have it right here as well. This is an exclusive that Goody Reader has. We have an advanced copy, and we have been reviewing this and comparing this against pretty much everything we can think of. If you check right kind of this direction, you're going to see the Sony DPTS-1. That is the Sony 13-inch electronic device. Not really an e-reader, it reads only PDFs, but if you want to check out all the coverage on that, that is definitely worth checking out. And over there, directly to my side, is the Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 Nook. This is Barnes & Noble's next generation device. They contracted Samsung to build all the hardware, but it is the successor to the Nook HD. Ask me anything, I got a tablet around here, I bet. But anyways, thank you guys very much. We appreciate you guys watching all our stuff. Keep on watching Goody